So we're in Rome. It's very hot, isn't it? So what do you think about Rome so far? It's tiring. What do you think of Rome so far?
I look so good.
I think we're all a bit tired.
Sweaty.
Sweaty.
Awesome.
Awesome. You think it's awesome?
Amazing. Yeah.
And amazing. But we're a bit hot. And a bit tired.
Drive a faster car.
Hi, we're the Johnsons, and this week we wanted to talk to you about Rome with kids.
So, Rome was somewhere in which we'd heard loads of good things about, and but we'd also heard some warnings. So, about the heat, about how busy it is, and how we had to really keep an eye on our kids because it's so busy. Pickpockets, the whole shebang. So
yeah, so on paper, Rome with kids doesn't seem like a great idea. You know, most of the attractions are museums that kids aren't necessarily going to be interested in, and as Lee said, it's hot, it's busy. So we were a little bit worried, but we did loads of research beforehand. We found a book called Mission Rome, which there'll be a link to below, and did some research on some blogs and stuff, and planned our perfect itinerary basically for the day, with stuff that we thought the kids would be interested in. And we watched some YouTube videos, got the kids excited before we went, and we had a really awesome day.
Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah, but it still was a long day though. I mean, we were there from, we left at 7 AM and we got back at 11 AM. We got the train in from Civitavecchia, which is where we were staying, which was about an hour each way on the train. And then if you do come to Rome by train, it's about a 20-minute walk to any of the things that you want to see. Where are we off to?
Rome.
Roma! What are we going to see?
Aqueduct. Maybe.
And the
Colourful sunshine.
We came across stuff around every corner, didn't we? Like there was a Pinocchio shop. Pinocchio shop was really cool. I loved Pinocchio as a kid. So when we found this shop, yeah, I was in heaven.
Yeah, it's an amazing store, wasn't it? It was, so we the first thing we saw was this display that was outside where the kids could sit with Pinocchio. And then you kind of walk in and it's just full of wooden toys, and yeah, the kids loved it as well, didn't they? But it's got a real atmosphere about it as well when you walk in. But yeah, that was, especially when Zach had to go with the nose, Zach and Belle, they both had to go with the Pinocchio nose at the beginning. That was cool. That was very cool.
And from there we went to the Trevi Fountain, which was definitely one of the highlights. But when we first got there in the morning, they turned the fountain off because they were actually dredging it for the money that gets thrown in every day. So the tradition is you're supposed to stand in front of the fountain, throw a coin over your shoulder and make a wish. And in doing that, they raise 3,000 euros for the city every day, which all goes to charity. So when you make your wish, you're also donating to charity at the same time, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, there literally are lines and lines of people, just or rows and rows of people just throwing cash into the fountain. And even when we arrived, when you first arrive in that square bit, you think, oh, it's quite busy, but it's super easy to get through. We thought we were going to have some issues, especially with 2 young kids, to try and get even close to the fountain. But no issues at all, was there? Everyone was super polite. It was really easy to get around. 3.
I got my wish now. Can I get this?
If you go back to the Trevi Fountain at night time, as we did, because it was on our way back to the train station, it's even better. It's all lit up, and it was running, which helped. But it looked really good at night as well. So
yeah, it's stunning.
Definitely.
There's a real atmosphere to it as well. And when you're in there in the evening, it just kind of. I mean, obviously we'd been there all day, so to get there at night and it just kind of topped off the day really nicely, didn't it? There was a real atmosphere about it, a real memorable moment.
Definitely a highlight of the day. And the Pantheon is a fantastic building as well. It's huge. You come around the corner and there's just these giant columns to hold it up. It was just an amazing building. Oculus, which is the big hole in the ceiling, and the kids like looking for the rain holes. That was part of their mission cool. Rome scavenger hunt to find the rain holes where the water goes when it rains. Yeah, no, it was just a really interesting building, really easy to go in now.
Easy it was incredible, because as we arrived again, this was another scenario where there were lots of people all kind of trying to get into this building. But it's a constant flow, so you just kind of joined the queue, didn't we? And let's call it a queue, but it wasn't. It was just a moving set of people that we just kind of filtered in behind, and before we know it, we were inside. And
it was free. So much stuff in Rome is free. So so many of the things that you can see and do, it is free, which is fantastic. So from the Pantheon, because things were so close to each other, we then had the time to go up to the Spanish Steps, which we weren't initially planning on, because a lot of the kind of things that I read was like it's just a bunch of steps, but we actually really liked it. We came in from the top end of the steps, and then the view across the city was fantastic. And then we can walk down the steps, and at the bottom there's another fountain, which I don't know what it's called in Italian, but it's the fountain of the ugly boat.
Yeah, the kids love that.
It's quite fun. And they can stand on the platform and fill the water bottles and stuff, so that was good fun all around there.
Well, the thing, the Spanish Steps was really the first place that we got a glimpse into the kind of street sellers, the bit that we were warned about. So in terms of be careful about talking to people in case they're trying to sell you something, they can be a bit pushy.
The main thing is the Colosseum. Obviously everybody goes to the Colosseum. That's the huge kind of selling point of Rome. And it is a fantastic looking building. There was quite a few building works happening on like the route up to the Colosseum for us. So it may change by the time other people get to see it. But it looks fantastic. But for us, it really wasn't a highlight, was it? I mean, I know that's a bit controversial, but it's, once you're inside and you've queued to get inside, it's round, you know, every viewpoint is the same, and there's not really any kind of like information points or anything about the Colosseum. Whereas when you buy your ticket for the Colosseum, you also get the Roman Forum and the Palatine Hill.
Well, hang on.
Now,
Let me
they
just...
were really cool.
Yeah, but just back to the, because that was super cool. We'll come back to that in a second.
Yeah.
But the thing about the Colosseum to be aware of for any of you that are looking to visit is the queuing system, because you can arrive. When you arrive, the first thing that happens is you'll get these tour guides will approach you immediately, asking if you've bought tickets. And so be on your guard here, because what they're effectively saying is that, well, part of their sales pitch is they'll be talking to you about, you can jump all the queues. If you buy a tour with them, you can go with a group of people and you'll jump all of the queues. What we learned, right, we avoided those, and luckily we had our own tickets. But what we soon learned was that each one of the queues is set up for specific times. So maybe every quarter of an hour, whatever it is. And the reason why those queues are set up that way is because the Colosseum can only hold 3,000 people, 3,000 visitors at a time. So although the queue is constantly moving, if you have a ticket for a specific time, you'll actually just walk straight through. Yeah. So the trick is to buy your ticket in advance and make sure you arrive at the time of that ticket, and you'll go straight through. You'll bypass a lot of the queues.
Yeah, but skip the line is still a little bit misleading. You still got to allow time for the Colosseum if you want to see it, because there's the line to get in, there's the line to swap your ticket for a real ticket if you've got a digital ticket, and then there's the line for security. So it's still going to take you some time to get through. And personally, I didn't think it was worth it. I would have done the Roman Forum first, which is where you have so many artifacts and all the kind of archaeological digs where they've found everything, and there's information plaques at every point in English and Italian, and I think in German as well. And so I found that just so much more interesting. There was
you
so
felt
much
you
more
were
to see.
inside the whole area, didn't you? That was really cool.
Yeah, the Roman Forum is where all the Romans kind of gathered. Back in Roman times, it was their kind of street party area, really. But I found that bit way more fascinating. Unfortunately for us, it was cut short because we were in the middle of a thunderstorm.
Did you see that? Did you see that? That must have really big lightning.
Venga, Sophie!
Go to a pizza restaurant now.
Vamos que la
Dad, I did see it. No, it will land. No, it really was right there.
What do you think?
Lightning and thunder is that.
Which we didn't mind too much. In fact, it was really atmospheric. It was really cool.
It was cool. When we were in the Colosseum,
my hat.
Another one of these moments where we could see the storm rolling in, similar to the last week of Sardinia when we watched that coming in. But the thunder and lightning. But yeah, your hat while we're in the Colosseum. Yeah, we were like, oh wow, great viewpoint. And then your hat flew. And you were super sad at that point because this was Kate's favourite.
My favourite hat.
Yeah, but that guy rescued it.
It did. Kind man at the Colosseum rescued my hat.
Grazie. Grazie.
Get in the pizza restaurant now before lightning and thunder shoots down. Because I got a hat head and I don't want to walk around with hat head.
Where do we go? The Piazza Navona. Navona? Yeah, Piazza Navona, I think it's called. With my wonderful Italian Alex.
Hey, it's better than mine, so don't worry.
And that's a really cool area. It was kind of drizzly when we were there, so there wasn't quite as much stuff going on, I don't think, but normally there's like loads of street entertainment. There's loads of street entertainment throughout Rome, and that's really helpful when you're walking quite away with the kids.
Well, the street artists and like the acts that happen throughout Rome in the streets is fantastic, and especially the paintings and the drawings that happen. The kids loved seeing all of that and being involved in that. And I think we walked something like 12 to 15 miles.
Yeah,
we did lots and lots of walking. But for that to be broken up with this, for them to not only see the buildings and everything else, it was to have all the street art was awesome. arrived in this, how did you pronounce it again?
Piazza Navona, I think.
Piazza Navona. When we arrived there, and there was musicians playing, and there's lots of restaurants. And
yeah, there's
that
3
was awesome.
fountains in there, the Fountain of the 4 Rivers. Yeah, there's lots of stuff to see and do. Just be aware that if you eat there, it's incredibly expensive. We planned to have a meal in the evening. We bought sandwiches throughout the day. We walked most of the day, so we were kind of quids up, as it were. We'd saved a lot of money, so we knew we were going to have probably quite an expensive meal in the evening, but oh my god, it's expensive. Super expensive, so just be aware of that if you do plan to eat in any of the squares. Like literally on the square, you've got a great viewpoint, but you're massively paying for it. So.
Yeah. But all in all, I think we're both, well, as a family, we're huge fans of
Yeah,
Rome.
loved it, definitely.
And we'll definitely be returning, because we feel like we've only just scratched the surface, really. But we definitely got our money's worth walking around.
Yeah, if you're happy walking, you can have a really inexpensive, safe and fun day in Rome with kids.
Definitely.